This tweet came from Paul Schwartz of the New York Post. He wrote a whole article about this entire situation. I definitely recommend you guys all check it out. Daniel Jones is now the first quarterback in 30 years to have 5 games with 37 or more passing attempts and 0 passing touchdowns, and he is just the second quarterback to ever accomplish that in NFL history. He has not thrown for 3 touchdowns in 57 straight games. He has 0 passing touchdowns in 6 of his 10 starts this season. We are just 10 games in, and Jones has 8 touchdowns and 7 interceptions on the year. His passer rating for the entire season is 79.4 out of 158.3. Jones has 7 interceptions on the year. They have all came in all of the 8 losses for the New York Giants. We deem this a situation where you had to build a perfect situation around a quarterback that is not perfect. And even still, the quarterback still has to play perfect games for the New York Giants to be able to come out here and win games. Since getting that $160 million contract that Daniel Jones signed at the beginning of 2023, Jones has 10 touchdowns through the air and 13 interceptions. Daniel Jones is now 3-13 as the starter over the last 2 seasons. When we saw Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito combined go for 5 and 6 last season. So we know that with last year, at least, we had better quarterbacks on the roster. All of that makes me think about a statement from Carl Banks at the beginning of the season, which I thought at the time was a bit egregious to point the finger at the people that were critical of Daniel Jones at that point in his career. Carl Banks said there's a certain sector of folks that call themselves Giants fans that have made it their life's work to shit on Daniel Jones. Banks said, and at this point, they don't even realize it. It's to the point to where they're so goofy with their takes that it's making Daniel Jones become a sympathetic figure. He said, and what it does, it forces people, which I'm seeing more and more of, it's forcing people to say, look, he didn't have certain things and there weren't certain things in place. And he has had several different coaching staffs. And so this constant beating on a guy that you're supposed to be a fan of his team is just outright goofy. It's so overdone right now. It's not exhausting. It's tired. And I challenge Carl Banks to revisit that statement because to me, none of that is the tired part. The fans that have been, you could say, critical of Daniel Jones or week in and week out have been asking that the New York Giants address the quarterback position and bring in another quarterback. I don't think that Daniel Jones is becoming a sympathetic figure. I think that the more that this team wheels out this quarterback out there to start games for this team, that Daniel Jones is actually becoming more of a scapegoat than he is a sympathetic figure. Now people are blaming the failures of this regime on this quarterback to try to save this coach and save this general manager. Even the overly homer fans are turning on Daniel Jones at this point. Let me tell you what I think is goofy. One, I think that the New York Giants did everything in their power to continue to keep Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback for this team over 6 seasons when he did not earn that. They have replaced everything except the quarterback, and I think that's goofy. They never drafted a quarterback during this whole entire 6 years that Daniel Jones has been the starting quarterback for the New York Giants to even challenge the starting position. That is goofy. They signed Tyrod Taylor to a 2-year, $10 million contract when they first got here with the intent of never allowing him to compete for the starting job. I don't know if that's Mara. I don't know if that's Brian Dable. I don't know if that's Joe Schoen, but that is absolutely goofy. They drafted a weapon for Daniel Jones. That was goofy. And they paid this dude, after throwing for just 15 passing touchdowns, $160 million, $92 million guaranteed over a 4-year span. And to me, that is the most goofy of all things that they could have possibly done.